So now the second track final of the opening afternoon session. It's the women's 1500 meters, T11, total visual impairment. 3 go in this, 2 from Turkey, and Maria FIUZA of Portugal, 1998 world champion. That wasn't under the IPC banner, it was under the International Blind Sports Association. Lives in Lisbon from Leiria. Let's introduce you to everyone. First major international championship for 18-year-old Oznur ALUMUR of Turkey. Her guide is Ahmet Tas. Her international teammate Asa Oykan of Turkey. Semal Kus is her guide, 9th in the 1500 meters in Doha. Went out in the heats of the 8, semi-finalists of the previous World Championships in the 8 in 2013. And Maria FIUZA. In the last Europeans in Swansea, she won silver in this 1500 meters, finished 5th in the 1500 meters in both the Worlds of 2011 and 2013, and disimproved by 1 last year. And then that IPC gold back in 1998. So FIUZA of Portugal, Asa Özkan of Turkey, Oznur ALUMUR of Turkey. So away we go. They all have guides, obviously, this being a T11 event. And Oznur ALUMUR has gone off very well, very strongly. The youngest in the field, straight away, turns 19 years old next month. Her guide is 20 years old, Ahmet Tas. Asa Özkan, her Turkish colleague, just taking up the rear at the moment. So many major, big international results in her career, a smattering of medals, 2 major championship medals to her name in her career, and in between them at the moment, Asa Özkan of Turkey, who works in the Turkish Ministry of Health. 25 years old, no major championship medals to her name, a major championship career which started back in 2013. A bit of congestion for second and third at the moment. FIUZA in second place, Özkan's in third, but magnificent opening lap from Oznur ALUMUR. She's way out in front with 3 to go.
Yes, looked like it was high 55, low 56s as she went through the first 300 meters. She's got an absolutely huge lead. The only question is for the 18-year-old, has she gone too early? You can see her guide, Ahmet Tas, talking to her all the time, giving her an indication. He'll be feeding her the split. She's gone through 400 meters in 76. So she had about 5-second lead, and it looks as though it's getting bigger and bigger. So if she's timed this well, and she can manage to keep going, this will be a really decent victory for a teenager, still finding her feet on the international field and the international platform. FIUZA of Portugal, at 43 years of age, well, she's got unbelievable amounts of experience. 5th in the Paralympic final in Sydney, way back when, 16 years ago. So if anybody can claw back that deficit, it is the Portuguese athlete, but it is still a sizable lead. But the question is, has the young Turkish athlete gone too hard too early?
This is a very impressive start from Oznur ALUMUR, but you can see that she's beginning to slow down somewhat. There's quite a gap now between first and second and third. Maria FIUZA of Portugal is in second place as ALUMUR comes through. 2 laps to go, 2:19 run, and FIUZA, there's still a considerable gap between the two of around 25-30 meters, but it's closing bit by bit. Way back in third at the moment, by the way, Asa Özkan, who's had international pedigree before. She finished 9th in the 1500 meters World Championship final last year. But as Oznur ALUMUR, this is her first major championship race, and at the moment she's in pole position.
Yes, I was just watching the clock. It's still about 4.5 seconds. So if the experienced Portuguese athlete, Maria FIUZA, and her guide, Jose Ferreira, if they are to close the gap, they do need to start winding this in. If you cast your mind back to the balmy conditions of Doha in October, in the 5,000 meters, we did see some unbelievable gaps and leads being closed down. The 5,000 is 12.5 laps of the track. The 1,500, only 3 3/4. I think she has got some running in her legs, FIUZA in second place, but has she got enough time left to close down that gap? This is going to be a fascinating last 450 meters from her.
She's run the first 1,000 meters absolutely perfectly. The gap is still considerable. but it's not insurmountable for Maria FIUZA, and she still looks as if she might have a bit in reserve, but does Oznur ALUMUR of Turkey. It's been a brilliant championship debut up to this point. She takes the belt. 3:46, she's gone through it. FIUZA will go through in 3:52, so there's 6 seconds between them. FIUZA has the international pedigree, having finished second in this 2 years ago in Swansea. She's been here before, she's done this before, she knows what she's doing, and she can certainly up the pace. She certainly looks as if she's got something still in reserve, but does Oznur ALUMUR, and obviously it being T11, the total visual impairment, she has to rely on her guide to glance back. Glance at the screen, and he's just done that, by the way. I'm not sure if you've been able to pick him up, but just watching across the track, that's where the big screen is. He looked right across and was able to pass the information on about how far ahead they are. We've got half a lap to go. Oznur ALUMUR has done very well. It's not even a case of hanging on. She's got a strong lead. She's kept the pace up wonderfully. Now, FIUZA of Portugal in second place. The gap seems to have increased, maybe to about 7 seconds or so. It's Oznur ALUMUR of Turkey on a major championship debut. She's a brilliant find if nothing goes wrong in the closing straight. Another glance over the shoulder by Ahmed Tas. Her guide looks across. The gap has come down, I think, a good bit in the past 50 minutes or so. FIUZA's sped up, but Oznur ALUMUR surely an insurmountable lead at this stage. No matter how much FIUZA speeds up now, Oznur ALUMUR, her first major championship, and she's going to be European champion. What a victory, 5:15.34. A great performance by this 18-year-old. Maria FIUZA takes the silver for Portugal. ALUMUR with a magnificent triumph. And it's great news, good news for Turkish athletics.
Well, that was the only question. Had she gone too hard too early? Well, she answered that rather emphatically. She had more than enough left in the tank. You can see how tired she is now, though. She sinks to the ground, and she does so as a champion. And we're seeing her compatriot, the 25-year-old Ozkan, who was 9th in Doha last year in 5:42. She's going to be drifting outside 6 minutes here. So it has been a tough day for her. It's very blustery here, which might work well for long jumpers when they want a 2-meter following wind, but when you're running round the track, you're coming into some really tough headwinds every time you come round the bend. It's really tiring, but what a great win for the 18-year-old Turkish athlete, Oznur ALUMUR. She's the European champion, and she did that emphatically.
Well, if you're good enough, you're old enough. A great find, this 18-year-old. Her first ever race at a major championship, and if you were to look at the biographies in advance, look at the field, you'd say, well, the 1 and 2 would be divvied between Ozkan and FIUZA. But our champion, lifetime best, Oznur ALUMUR, the 18-year-old, is the new European champion.